Divas! Hope you're all fierce. Welcome to The Performer's Path, the podcast where we delve into the highs and lows of the performance industry and beyond. If it's using your creative juices for onstage, in auditions, or those in between jobs, we discuss it all with real people in the industry who've been there and got the t-shirt as a gift. By discussing audition rejections and success, we're taking away the fear of the unknown, whilst also giving vital tips for success. So let's tread the boards together in this week's episode. In episode 2 of Sofia and Harry, we talk a day in the life of a cruise performer as a couple.
In a typical sea day, I would say, it can vary all the time.
Yeah.
Let's say it was a sea day with a show day. So we get up, I'll be honest, we don't often make it to breakfast on board.
No.
Breakfast on our ship finishes at about 8:30 in the morning. So anyone who's listening who's done ships before, you'll know it's very, very rare for people to make breakfast, especially the cast. So we kind of get up and then lunchtime starts about 11, doesn't it? So we get up, potter around and then have lunch about 11. Sometimes we might have class early afternoon. So like for us, we teach like line dancing, salsa classes, sometimes there's like dance fitness. So we kind of dip in and out of on a schedule of teaching those classes, and the singers will teach choir session, which is really lovely actually. It's really sweet. So
I hope you go to those.
We always go and watch the performances.
No, not just now. You should be joining in. I told you to about singing.
I know, sorry Al. And then so they will sort of have the classes, and then you can kind of on a show day chill for the afternoon. So if it's hot, might go and sit on cruise deck for a little bit, catch a bit of sun, have a walk around the promenade deck, and then normally for us around 3:30 we'll have a tech rehearsal. So go backstage, sort of preset all of our costumes, sort out anything that needs to be sorted, warm up, and then we'll do a full run of the show. So obviously tech rehearsal, checking all the lights are working, sound, any moving pits, anything that's moving on the stage, check that's all working, and then obviously to check that we all know what we're doing as well. Then we'll sort of have a rest, have tea, and then for us our show times are normally 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock, so we do 2 shows every show night. So then our backstage call will be about 7:30, show at 8, show at 10, finished. Then we'll have some show food, which we normally get delivered, and be like literally ranging from anything from like a big fruit platter to chicken nuggets. Like it really changes depending on the day. But that's always like such a nice thing because it's such a good way of winding down after the show and prepping yourself, because any performer that's listening will know when you finish the show or a performance, you're like on such a high that you really do need to come down. So it's like such a struggle to sort of just go, okay, that's done, and then go straight to bed. Not
a chance. How is it that you do that come down side of things? How do you cope like that?
So again, we normally
it varies, doesn't it?
It depends on the show, because I think for us our shows are really varied in like stamina level, that sometimes if you've had a really hard show you still kind of really, really buzzing. So kind of go to show food, finish that, have a nice shower, maybe go and sit in the crew bar for a little bit. We've always played cards in our cast as well. There's always like quite a nice way of doing that, and then you sort of realise that you suddenly like you can't fully read what the cards are saying anymore because you're so tired, and you're like, you need to go to bed now.
It's time.
Absolutely. But a non-show day sea day could consist of anything from honestly doing absolutely nothing to doing your laundry, sunbathing, going to the gym. It depends.
So you've got your gym on board. Are there any classes that you can join yourself?
So for us personally, no, from what I can think of.
Classes and stuff? No. I'm unsure.
I know that there's always classes offered to the guests, but we have both the crew gym and the guest gym. So in the day we can use the crew gym obviously anytime we want, and then the cast, we're really lucky, from 7 o'clock onwards we can use the guest gym, which is really, really great because it's nice to be in guest area and stuff. And then for us on our last contract, we were really, really lucky because we were allowed to use the spa after a certain time, which was great. Like our last contract was quite show heavy. We didn't have many days off in between shows, so it was kind of quite back to back. So having that time to be in the spa and rest and recuperation is so important. Like it's so important.
I was talking to my friends about this. I had an 8-show week, and I remember with Buddy Holly it was 153 rock and roll lifts per show. Die.
Crazy.
Honestly, it's really bad. So after Saturday, Sunday, back to back are the doubles. So Monday was the day off. And I used to go to what's called the Schwabenquelle, which is like this beautiful saunas and steam rooms and all that kind of stuff. And I felt like I was topping up my battery with health.
Yeah, that is what it feels like.
Yeah,
It's just such a recharge, isn't it?
And if you don't have that,
yeah.
So you were really lucky on that contract.
Yeah.
What do you do as your relaxation and looking after yourself?
Yeah, personally, I do a lot of meditation and yoga.
Yoga, yeah.
And we do quite a lot of yoga, don't we?
Yeah.
Especially within the cast. It's always been a thing for us on our contracts that we've done sunset yoga.
Yeah.
So like sunset yoga in the middle of the sea, like you can imagine how calming and like amazing that feels, which is always goes down such a treat, doesn't it? So we normally, when we're in port, someone will like download a load of like online videos of like yoga and Pilates, and then someone will have them all stored up for us to then use for either in the gym or, as I say, outside to do sunset yoga. But we do practice a lot of yoga and meditation and stuff to wind down a lot.
Yeah.
What's the best place in the middle of the sea and best yoga one that you've done? Sunset yoga.
Oh.
That's hard. Hawaii, maybe.
Hawaii, yeah, maybe.
Oh, yes, that's to be
Hawaii.
you.
Yeah. Sailing away from Hawaii was pretty special.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can see Hawaii and you're, doing your downward facing dog. There it is.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, and it's just like so calming, and everyone always says this, or anyone who's listening who's either been on a cruise as a guest or as crew will know nothing beats a sunset at sea.
Yeah.
It's just like nothing else you've ever experienced. Like I remember on my first contract, we were in Mexico actually, and there was just the most incredible sunset, and I just cried my eyes out.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't believe that this is my life, like seeing these amazing places, but also doing my job and getting paid for it. It's crazy that all those things can come together in just such a perfect way.
Yeah.
It's your hobby and you're getting paid for it. That's why I always used to say that to you. You're going to get paid to do your hobby.
Yeah, that's
do
it.
the thing that you love. And not only that, you're so lucky. Well, I mean, you've worked flaming hard. You were such amazing students, and you'd boss Harry around and make sure that he cracked on, because let's face it, Harry, come on. And
yeah.
And as soon as Soph was getting angry with you, you'd be like, okay, sorry.
Yeah. That's it.
And you worked so hard. So not lucky at all. You really totally deserve this. You're doing the thing that you love with the person you love in places that you love.
That's
so
it.
The best one for the sunset yoga was Hawaii, going away from Hawaii. Now, what about the best place that you guys have visited together?
Well, that's a tough one. I feel like this changes.
I'm asking you tough ones today, so.
I know, you're pulling it out
This
the back.
does change a lot.
Yeah. Go on, what would you say?
Hong Kong's up there.
Yeah.
Why?
Just because we went to Disneyland and it was unreal. Like, it was unreal.
Yeah.
But we did just spend quite a lot of time in Sydney as well. And Sydney is pretty special as well, yeah.
Yeah, on our last contract, Sydney was our home port. So we were there every 2 weeks. So
talk to me about the scheduling of the cruise ships, like home port, all that kind of stuff. What I want to do, guys, is I know you felt like this fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
When you went out there, and I want to eradicate that.
Yeah, of course.
As much as possible.
Yeah.
For my students, for people out there.
Of course.
So talk to us, describe what it's like, what the experience is like.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So when I first started, I had no clue of what I was going into at all in terms of like the travel, the workload. All I knew was where I was going to be visiting. I didn't know how many sea days that meant. I didn't know like if we were going to be doing shows on the port days and stuff like that. So a normal like voyage away from, because we've been lucky to do like world voyages that are super long with the same guests. So
how long are they?
It varies. It's around like 99 nights.
Yeah.
Is like a small world voyage. So I'll go through like a normal length voyage with just like a 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Would look like, say you would start in your home port. For us, it'd either be Southampton or it'd be in the city or the country that you've focused in. So it would be like if we were on an Australia voyage, the home port would be Sydney. So if we left from Southampton, then we probably take 2 sea days where we do one show in then 2 sea days. So that's the tech and then the 2 shows, 8 and 10. And then another sea day would probably consist of line dancing or something like that.
So that's a class that you're teaching?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you'd get to the port, say like Barcelona or somewhere if you were in the Med. And then you'd probably, luckily, have that day off.
Yeah.
or it'd be like a small show in the evening that starts or ends a guest entertainer. So our small shows are like 10 to 15 minutes long, and it's like just like two numbers, either like a ballroom style or like jazz and stuff with the singers.
Yeah.
And then it'd just be the same. So it'd be like 2 more C days with one show or a duty. And then other duties could like consist of like a backstage tour or like a meet the cast kind of like Q&A session.
Right.
Yeah, it can vary depending on where you are and how long your voyage is. So if you had a 2-week voyage, for us, we do maybe four or five shows, maybe one small bumper show. And then in that you have got like your other duties, your line dancing, your dance fit, your choir. Then we also do have like safety drills, which we have to do as well. So that's when all of the, ship's alarm bells are all tested, and we are basically tested to know that we know what to do in an emergency. Those sort of procedures and things can change between companies, but for us, we normally do one every 3 weeks. And it's great because it's the perfect chance to ask any questions. If there are certain things that you don't know, to be asked questions to make sure that you do know things. And, we are very often tested by, the officers and things on board.
So what happens if you don't know?
That can depend. For the most part, I would say we're trained very, very well when we first get on board. Regardless of whether you've done no contracts or 10 contracts, everybody does the same induction training as soon as we first get on board. So that normally consists of the first day we get on board, we do our first induction 1, and that covers like our basic fire training, all of the safety announcements and stuff that we need to be aware of so that we know what we're doing if there was to be an emergency. And then the trainings will sort of carry on then throughout your first few weeks on board to make sure that everyone is dead set on what to do in an emergency, because emergencies do happen.
Yeah.
Have you been in an emergency?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a fire on board, and it was up on the front, like near the funnel. It was in the fire locker. It was a lithium battery fire. And luckily we only went to crew alert, so we didn't go past the crew alert stage. So the first stage would be first stage response, which is the fire team and people who are actually on board for safety to go to their positions to obviously fight the fire. And then if it progresses from there, you'd go to a GES and the crew alert. So the crew were all called to their positions, but luckily we were there for not even half an hour.
No, we were about 20 minutes.
Yeah, and the fire had been fought.
Yeah.
What did you have to do in those 20 minutes?
Just stand in position and wait and just hope that it didn't go to the next stage, really. That's it, isn't it?
So what is the next stage then, Harry?
So the next stage would be getting all the guests on board to their correct muster stations. But when the alarm went off, it was in the evening. So obviously there was a show in the theatre, and my muster station is the theatre. So all the guests are already in the theatre. It's like full, and they're just asking what's going on, what's happening and stuff like that. So to be fair, when you ask something like what's going on stuff, we only know as much as they do.
Yeah, we're not expected to be able to answer the questions as crew. Like my muster station in my last contract was the main dining room. So we went to crew alert, and I'm suddenly stood in the middle of the Britannia restaurant in my life jacket with my muster cap on, thinking all these people are going to start asking me questions. And then, you will get guests who will be quite pushy and what's happening, and it's just because they're scared. It's just because they're scared. And if they see 20 crew members around them stood in life jackets, they initially start thinking the worst, which is normal. And it does happen, and we're there to be a friendly face for those people to look at and to say, don't worry, we know what we're doing, we're here to help you if something does go wrong. And again, which is why the training is so important and why we have drills and safety briefings and stuff so frequently, is to make sure that if something like this was to happen, that we're all clued up and ready to go. And luckily, our crew did get the fire out quickly, and we didn't have to assemble the guests into their muster stations. We were very, very lucky that happened. But I think we would have been well prepared if that was to happen, because we have so much training. And, we're always being given, for our company, we're given like sheets of paper with like common questions and how you could answer them, and safety questions that we need to know, like certain fire extinguishers and what they're used for, like how to use certain doors around the ship for their safety features, like fire doors, which is always good because we're always, we're told we have to have those sheets of paper and stuff to be looking over during our drills, because the drills can be long.
Yeah, they
like
can.
Sometimes you could be in a drill for like an hour. And quite often, for us anyway, in our emergency duties, we are sort of just stood there waiting to be told what's going to happen next. So having those sheets of paper to sort of like revise in a way.
So do you test Harry on it then?
We actually haven't been in the same muster station for a little while.
Yeah, I know.
So no.
So who do you get to test Harry then?
Yeah.
I know you, Soph.
No, it is good though. It's good because it does keeps your brain in check to remember that whilst we are having this amazing, incredible life, something could still go wrong. You know, you've got to be prepared for anything, and that's what we're always told: is be prepared for the worst.
Yeah.
If you're prepared for the worst, then anything else is a bonus.
Yeah, it does feel like a lot of information. Like when you're first getting on and you're like, God, I'm now like a safety officer as well as a dancer.
That's what it feels like.
It feels like, does feel like a lot of information. But then when you actually like settle into like what your duty is in an emergency, it's very, very small. Like it's super, super easy and straightforward to understand like what's being asked of you and how to keep
totally manageable.
Yeah,
absolutely. And there's always other crew members who are willing to help you. I think a big thing is don't be afraid to ask someone for help with anything, whether that be in a show and you might say to your dance captain, my mind's just gone blank. I can't remember what side of the stage I'm meant to be on for this next bit. Can you help me? Or asking your stage manager, could you help me zip up this dress? Or, you know, if you're in a safety drill, could you actually just remind me what fire extinguisher I would use for this? You know, you will find that 9 times out of 10, everyone is super friendly and super willing to help you.
Amazing. All right, that's it for another episode. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And wherever you are on your performer's path, stay safe and sane, and let your creative light shine bright on whatever you do.